Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and this is the Not So Serious Keto video podcast. Now, as we get into this particular podcast, I think that there's going to be sort of a thread that connects most of my topics, but the first one is completely unrelated to all of the others, and that is keto in the news. A number of podcasts ago, I don't know how many, it was quite a while ago, I made up this generic keto in the news story. So basically it was the template by which anyone could write a keto in the news story. And in my Google News feed this week, I got a story that looks like it just basically looks like they read my template and followed it. It was from Greek City Times, which, despite the name, is located in Sydney, Australia. Now, part of me is tempted to not even link to the story, but I'm going to anyway down in the description below so you can see it and just see how silly it really is. It's pretty amateurishly written. But here are some interesting little points about it. First, if you scan the article, it uses the word hype 3 times in relation to keto. I'm not sure if it uses the word fad. I forgot to look that up. I bet it probably does. The word restricted or restrictive is used 5 times, and, of course, unsustainable is used twice. It does the usual thing. It talks about rapid weight loss. Of course, you get the one quote from a pro-keto doctor talking about some of the neurological benefits that can occur. But, of course, that's immediately tempered by a sentence saying no long-term studies have been done proving any of these benefits. And then you get the little celebrity thing, in this case, Halle Berry. And for some reason, they refer to her as Ms. Bond later on in the story. Now, they don't mention the fact that she was in a James Bond movie. They just call her Ms. Bond later. And in fact, I don't even think she married Pierce Brosnan in that movie. It was like, Tomorrow Never Lives and Let Dies Forever Another Day finger? I don't know. All those movies sound the same to me. But she talks about how it helped out her with her type 2 diabetes, and then immediately again, another sentence saying there are no long-term studies on the benefits of keto. So they always got to throw in that little stab at you, after they say something good. There's a whole lot about keto being unsustainable and being a yo-yo diet, that people go on keto and they lose weight, and then they go off of keto and they gain weight. It's really kind of an amusing little story. And of course it ends saying really what the practical thing to do is to listen to your doctor or dietitian about a proper diet. So anyhow, I found it remarkably amusing how similar it was to the template that I described some podcasts ago. I wish I knew which podcast number that was. If I figure it out, I'll link to it down below with the timestamp, and you can compare my template to this particular article. One of the topics that I bring up every so often in podcasts is hidden carbs. My belief is that carbs don't hide. It's sort of labels that can hide carbs, and our inability to sometimes read labels that can help carbs hide, if that makes sense. And I believe that most of us that practice a ketogenic lifestyle have gotten used to looking at food labels and nutritional information and things like that. But one of the things I know at least I fail to look at sometimes is over-the-counter supplements or over-the-counter medications. And it didn't occur to me to do this until a few weeks ago. I woke up, took my typical morning blood glucose and ketone readings, and saw that I was at like a 113 or a 115 for blood glucose. Normally, I'm at about 92. That's my average. Sometimes a little lower, sometimes a little higher, but almost never over 100 when I wake up in the morning. And here I was at like 113, 115. And I thought, wow, this is kind of weird. And then, it went back to normal. And then a few days later, again, it was up back in that, 100 and teens range. And I started trying to think, okay, what's going on here? What could it be? And then it occurred to me, there was a sleep aid that was recommended to me by one of my viewers when I talked about my insomnia that I've been taking. So I decided I would take it on a given night and then check my blood glucose the next morning, and then not take it and check my blood glucose the next morning. And what I saw was a correlation. This stuff right here, midnight, I take it at night. It's got some melatonin and some other stuff, which I'll talk about in a second. And my blood glucose, higher in the morning. So looking at the ingredients here, there's this quick melt blend that has a number of words I'm not familiar with, but here's some that I do know. Mannitol, sorbitol, sucralose. What's interesting is if you look up the glycemic index for each one of those, they're all below 10, so relatively low. I don't know if somehow when they're working together, if there's some sort of reaction that occurs. All I know is I take this stuff, blood glucose, higher in the morning. And that really kind of links back to something that I say very often, which is you gotta own your measurements. That's why I'm such a big proponent of blood glucose and ketone testing and knowing what foods, or really anything that you put in your mouth, how that affects you. And that kind of starts the thread that I think leads through the next couple of topics. After doing those resistant starch videos, I had a handful of people recommend that I get a continuous blood glucose monitor. So I am partnering with a startup. Well, I'm not so much partnering, I'm really just a beta tester. Partnering makes it sound like I'm important, and I'm not. I'm just a beta tester for this company called Levels. They're a startup. I don't think that their product is commercially even available yet, but it's a continuous blood glucose monitor that I will start using. And I am really excited about this. Not specifically because it's Levels, but just because I'm a data geek, and I think it will be very interesting to be able to see how my blood glucose responds to everything 24/7. I also think that it's going to make these resistant starch videos a lot easier. I'm not going to have to do 4 separate tests where I'm drawing the blood and then putting the meter under a separate camera. I can simply show you the graph over time, and we can see exactly when or if a spike occurred and how long it takes to dissipate. So I think that will also lend a little more science to some of these videos. So I'm pretty excited about that. Kind of along those lines, too, talking about the resistant starch videos, I've gotten some comments from people that said that the only reason I'm doing it is so that I can sell Keto Mojo blood glucose and ketone monitors. You know, and I kind of got to laugh at that a little bit because I say right in the video, I don't care what brand you buy. If you want to buy the Bear brand or the Keto Mojo brand, or I'm sure there's other brands out there, fine, but use something. Now, Keto Mojo, I like Keto Mojo. I think they're good people. But honestly, if people think that I am somehow pimping their product, that, you know, the $3 of commission that I make when somebody buys one is going to change my life or somehow influence me, they don't know me all that well. My integrity costs a lot more than that. In fact, I don't think it's for sale. So just know then that in future videos, when I'm using this continuous blood glucose monitor, that I'm not doing it to sell it. I'm doing it because I want this to be a little more scientific, and I want to know exactly when and if I'm having any sort of a blood glucose response. Another sort of interesting comment that I got on the resistant starch video where I'm eating the rice, I had a person accuse me of being a racist for not liking rice, that it was some sort of a subliminal message or something. Not true. Not true at all. In fact, I enjoy certain types of rice. And pre-keto, I really liked rice. But heating rice and cooling rice and then eating cold rice without anything on it, to me, it just doesn't taste that good. So, you know, I got tired of the potatoes, too. After, you know, 3 or 4, was it? Maybe even 2. I think maybe 2 slices of potatoes I had, and I was sick of potatoes. That doesn't mean I'm anti-Idaho or anti-Irish or anything like that. It just means that I was sick of them. So I just want to put that to bed. There is no racism involved in me either liking or disliking rice, and I will certainly be doing more tests on rice. So that's all I have to say about that. And with that, we will take a brief little ad break. I hope it's brief. They're all skippable. So if you get one of these weird ones, it's like an hour long, don't watch it. Hit that skip button. You know, I'm okay with you hitting skip ad no matter how long or short it is. We're all adults here. Make up your own mind if you want to watch it or not. See you in a second. I hope. So I had just recorded a very lengthy segment of video talking about integrity and honesty And it kind of came off sort of preachy and maybe even a little bit pretentious. And that's why you're not going to get to see it, because I don't want to come off that way. Really, the executive summary of it was that I've had a lot of people leave positive comments for me, thanking me for my honesty when I do reviews. And you can continue to count on that. If there's a product I like, you're going to know that I like it. If there's a product I don't like, you're going to know that I don't like it. And for my affiliate marketing partners, like Perfect Keto or Chalk Zero or Keto Mojo or whomever, they know that. They know that I'm gonna speak my mind, and they're okay with that. There was a time when Perfect Keto said that they were going to send me their birthday cake flavored keto bars, and I said, don't do it. I don't want it. And if you send it, I'm going to feel obligated to review it, and I don't want to review it. And they sent it anyway. And if you watched that video, you saw that I was not a fan of the Perfect Keto birthday cake bars. And after that, my contact at Perfect Keto started requesting an advance preview of any of my review videos. He wanted to see them before I released them to the public. And I told him that's not going to happen, that the public is going to get my unfiltered view of any product. And I fully expected that that was going to end my relationship with Perfect Keto. But instead, they came back and they said, hey, we respect that. So like I said before, my integrity is not for sale. Whatever commission that I get when you use one of my links, it's not worth me losing your trust just for a couple of dollars. So I want you to always know that you can trust me to be transparent and honest during my reviews. And certainly if you find that you have a bad experience with some company that I speak well of, come to me, let me know, and let me see if I can make things right, if I can get to a contact that can help straighten out your situation. So hopefully that abridged version of it comes off a lot less preachy than the one that I had originally recorded. And I don't have a whole lot more today. First, the Easter eggs. Everybody got Boba Fett last week, so you saw that. I don't know how well you can see the one that's there right now. It kind of blends in a little bit with the color scheme. One of the requests that I get on a lot of these videos, because people see the guitars in the background, is wanting me to play some guitar at the end of a video, or at some point in a video. And why I'm reluctant to do that is, first of all, I'm not that good. But let's pretend that I was actually okay at guitar. The copyright rules are kind of interesting on YouTube. And I don't know if they've got an algorithm that can listen to certain musical notes or even singing and say, oh, you're singing, Bohemian Rhapsody. That belongs to Queen, so we can either demonetize your video, or they get some cut of it, or we can just pull down your video altogether. Now, it's possible that since I'm not very good at guitar, maybe YouTube won't even recognize what I'm playing. Or, alternatively, I suppose I could play something on the ukulele, and maybe that then won't get picked up, because who expects to hear Pink Floyd on an ukulele? So there you go. That felt really weird. I hope it didn't feel weird to you, but if it did, I apologize. That's it for this podcast. Kind of a shorter one this week. As always, thanks for watching or listening.